stop should all be done in one breath. I think that's very much all one phrase. Then take a breath, the chills and all the weeping. So, I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop.
I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop.
Once more, sing along.
I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop.
Now see if you can link up hold you and I'll. I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop. So there's no break whatsoever. A bit like when we did the 1, 2, 3 exercise, all linking up. And
I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop.
nice one. Now there's a moment there between the you and the I'll where if you link it, the words aren't quite so clear, but as a melody that works quite nicely, and for your vocal technique that works quite nicely. Sometimes to make the words clear in there, we might do something called a glottal stop. Now I'll come back to that in future lessons, but a glottal stop, can you do a glottal stop on the I'll? And
I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop.
so this time Carrie did a glottal stop on the first I'll, but not on the second one.
No, it's quite difficult to get in.
It is quite difficult to get in. So, I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop. It's like you start again on the I'll. I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop. And we hear this little noise, which is what happens at the glottal stop. Now that doesn't help our technique because the glottal stop kind of makes the throat interfere with the legato of the sound. But it does make the words a little bit clearer. So you may get a musical director working with you on this song and saying, those words aren't clear, can you put a glottal stop on the I'll? In which case you'll do it. And on this kind of low, easy phrase, it's okay, you can get away with that, it's not going to disturb your voice too much. On a more difficult phrase, a glottal stop could cause problems, so sometimes we leave it out. Have another go.
I'll be there to hold you, I'll be there to stop.
Okay, so now she did a little stop between the you and the I'll, and it felt okay?
Yep.
And you didn't do a glottal attack there, you did a well-balanced attack. Excellent, that's exactly the right way to do it. Let's have the last phrase. The chills and all the weeping.
The chills and all the weeping.
Good, and have a go at that one. The chills and all the weeping.
The chills and all the weeping.
Okay, good. Now it's going to, as you can see, this takes quite a long time, but it's actually the quickest method of learning a song, rather than just singing it through and making mistakes. The problem with that, excuse me, don't cough, George. The problem with that is if you sing it through and you make a few mistakes, you're compounding your mistakes. You're practicing making mistakes. Whereas if you go slower and perfect each phrase by taking your time like this, singing each phrase after you've just heard it, and just concentrate on one thing at a time, then you're practicing everything correctly, and you're building that into your muscle memory. You're building the correct thing into the muscle memory, and the next time you sing it, it's more likely to come out correct. So you're actually, even though it feels like we're going very, very slowly, this is the quickest way to get to a really good rendition of a song. Let's string all of that work together now, Carrie. Can we go all the way from Whistle Down the Wind up to Chills and All the Weeping? And excellent. So there's that first section. Now Carrie did particularly well here because she got a bit of a frog in her throat, didn't you? It was just the tiniest little bit of something that was giving her trouble. And it's great practice if when you feel that, even when you're practicing, if you can just keep going and sing through it. Because that kind of thing can happen when you're on stage, when you're in performance, and we just have to kind of get through it without it disturbing the flow. There's not much we can do to stop those things happening. We can make sure that we are very, very healthy and eat the right things and our body is well hydrated, but just takes a little bit of dust or in the air or a sharp breath and the voice can dry and it gets a little bit froggy or something get disturbed from your lungs, and you just have to be able to keep going through. And you may not have even heard that Carrie's voice was just the tiniest bit froggy through that, but you could feel it, couldn't you? Just a tiny bit?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Some water.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to have a sip of water? Okay. Now the next part of the song goes quite a bit higher, but for a lyric soprano it actually leaps into quite a comfortable zone. It's the next zone. So Carrie may be, and you may be feeling at home a little bit intrepid about making that leap into the next zone, but once you've done it, you'll find if you do it with energy and with freedom. Carrie's already warmed up, by the way, so we've make sure you're warmed up with some of the other videos that we've done here. Warm up along with Carrie before you sing this through. Let's have a look at the next section. Can you sing for me, make it clear and strong, just up to clear and strong. 1, 2, go!
Make it clear and strong.
Very good, so that's the next phrase to try. Great job from Carrie. Try singing along with her this time. Deep breath, think low in your body, access that yawning place. Go!
Make it clear and strong.
Very good. On the word "and," it's very easy to accidentally miss off the D because it would break. It feels like it breaks the flow, but we want those words to be strong. So when you make a D sound, it's a plosive sound, so we need a little D. Just say for me, D.
D.
Okay, so we actually need a little vowel just after there. And strong. And strong. We want it to be subtle because otherwise and strong would sound a bit too much. You might do that in opera when the audience are a long way away and you want to make the words clear, and the D really has to project and carry over an orchestra and you don't have a microphone. But in musical theatre invariably we do have a microphone. We just want it to be a subtle little D in there, but it must be a little D and strong. Just say for me, and strong.
And strong.
So there is always a little sound after that. You want to leave it as late as possible. But if you just go from and strong, as you can see there, and strong, the D gets lost. It sounds like and strong. So we need and strong, and strong, and strong. Just give me and strong 3 times.
And strong.
And strong. And strong. And slightly longer than that. And strong. That's what it's going to feel like. Sometimes, here's a little thing that's just cropped up. When you're practicing it by speaking it like we just did, if you're a lyric soprano and it's a high note, instead of practicing speaking it down low in your speaking voice, it's a good idea to practice speaking it up high in the same place that you're singing it. Could you just say, make it clear and strong in your head voice? My head voice there, by the way, is not really head voice for men. That's what we call falsetto, but it's a sound which sounds a little bit like the female head voice. It sounds very strange when I do it. It sounds quite lovely when Carrie does it, as you'll see.
Make it clear and strong.
And that's what it sounds like. I say quite lovely. It sounds a little bit like you're a Disney princess. Or possibly
on helium.
Or possibly the Queen. Or something like that. Can you just say once more, and just say go more towards the Snow White Disney princess voice. So it's kind of nice like that, rather than to Queenie or anything like that.
Make it clear and strong.
Very good. Okay, so practice these things, talking in your head voice until you can link those things, and then when you sing it, it'll make more sense because that's the voice you're singing it in. Okay. I think we've just created a good comedy moment for our video.
Yeah.
Okay, make it clear and strong. Sing it.
Make it clear and strong.
Okay, good. So we had and strong, but we didn't quite have a D. Do you think you can get the D in? And strong.
I tried.
I know, it was a very good effort. It's not easy, as you can see at home as well, because you're trying along. One more go, Carrie. Deep breath. Keep it low in your body.
Make it clear and strong.
Excellent, you did it. So there's a little extra moment. It's almost like there's an extra note for the D. Yeah? Very good. Now the words are clear. Act it a little bit more. Do you want a sip of water?
No, sorry.
You're okay. Keep it deep in your throat. Softer on the make it. A little bit more energy on the cl of clear.
Make it clear and strong.
Good. The next phrase. So the whole night long.
So the whole
Very good. Hardest phrase in the song. Have another go at that one.
So the whole night long.
Very good. Next phrase is.
Every signal that you send until the very end.
Try singing those two phrases along with Carrie.
Every signal that you send until the very end.
Remember, the higher that we go in singing, the lower in our body we should be. So watch out when you're trying these high phrases, particularly if you've been singing lower, that you make sure you take a breath, but that you reset your body so that your head isn't going up, your chin isn't going too high, and instead you feel like it's low in your body. Once more, every signal that you send until the very end.
Every signal that you send until the very end.
So that was lower in your body. Did you feel the difference?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I will not abandon you, my precious friend.
Good, carry on. Try singing that one. I will not abandon you, my precious friend.
I will not abandon you, my precious friend.
Good. Next phrase. So, try and stem the tide.